Hello, everybody. How's it going? We're back. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, just chatting streams usually aren't super long, so don't expect this to last a very long time. But I figured it was probably about time that we talk a little bit about upgrades. So, that's what we're gonna do today. Is we're gonna kind of talk about stream upgrades, probably write out some ideas, uh, and then maybe even I might teach you guys a little bit about budgeting. I don't know. That could be pretty cool, right? I don't know. Congrats on getting first Admiral. Welcome to the stream, and hello Bionics, hello Vince. Is that King? No, that's a Skinwalker disguised as him. I can neither confirm nor deny this. Yeah. Uh, a couple of things that I want to talk about before we get into all of this. One, did you know we're landing on the moon? It's not really it's more like a private company is landing on the moon, like right now, or they did, or they failed. But either way, there was a moon landing today. It just happened. They're trying to reestablish communication with it, but it's like a payload, and they're doing some studies to see if there's ice on the moon that they could heat up to turn into water or something like that. I don't understand everything. I can only pretend to. But that's happening today. And then also there's this thing currently strapped to my chest. You probably you might be able to see it a little bit there. I have a heart rate monitor. Now it's not one that you guys will be able to see on stream ever, but basically, I I have had, some concerning racing heart issues that I think I've talked to you guys a little bit about. And my doctors can't find anything because you can only really catch it when it's happening. So they've hooked me up with this thing. I put it on yesterday afternoon, and I have to wear it till, I guess, my 30 days are up. So, I'm gonna be wearing this for a little bit. Fun. It is very, very itchy. It's not exactly fun to wear, but they gave me this phone here. I have to grip it really hard if I ever show it on stream because it has my name on the back of it. But this is itchy. The phone is an Android, so it's kind of a little bit junk, but it exists. And I have a little button on there that I can press that says, "Hey, I'm having a problem," and then it puts a timestamp on there for my doctor to go back and look at. It's pretty cool. And it works. And the box it came in, I kind of wish I did an unboxing video on because it was a very nice unboxing. It was very, very nice. Hey, Sammy, how's it going? Welcome on in. We're at the point where we need moon ice to get water. Yes, that sounds right to me. I guess I was kind of in the know on this one then. Cyborg King, no way. I know, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm just glad you're getting the medical help you need. Basically, from what I understand, which might be very little, me and doctors don't speak the same language. He tried his best with me, and I think I understood it. But basically, the theory right now is, unless this tells us anything, it could be a misfire in my heart. And basically what's happening with that would be, something kind of decides like, hey, you need to beat faster or whatever, and it speeds up. And so that would be causing the issue. That's the theory right now. This might show otherwise. It might prove that that's what's happening. We don't know. It might show nothing. and we'll be back at square one. If that's the case, though, then that's where some decisions are going to have to be made. Basically, the remedy to a misfire in your heart is they kind of like do a little bit of a incision here, and then they stick this thing up in there and do a catheter and cauterize. It's pretty cool. We're gonna hope that it doesn't come to that, but like that's whatever. Like I don't really care, to be honest. My sister had an extra wire in her heart, causing her heart to beat 2 times the speed it should. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Just an easy open heart surgery, nothing much. Yeah, no, not really. You know, it's pretty easy. But you know, that's a little health update, I guess, for you guys. Basically, I know nothing, but here's what I know. If any of that happens, I'll let you guys know, but currently, like, I don't even really think I need the surgery, even if it does come to it, unless it is an issue. Because as far as I know, the misfiring doesn't actually hurt anything. And, so it's like one of those deals of, if it doesn't really hurt anything other than the fact that it hurts me sometimes, I'm okay with just leaving it be then, you know? Now, if it long-term it does have an effect, then I'll get it taken care of, but honestly, just the thought of dealing with it myself is more reassuring than letting somebody else operate, you know? We doing bad health? Usually my health is actually pretty okay. I'm just now going to doctors and such, so you know, there's a lot of things that they're finding that are kind of like, oh, you should probably take care of this. Oh, you should take care of this. So that's how you end up with vitamin D pills with 50,000 units. Or, you know, heart monitors stuck to your chest for 24/7 for a full 30 days. But it's not the worst, honestly. Nothing serious has come up yet. This is just years upon years of delaying all coming together at once. So just get yourselves checked. Every year, get yourselves checked. That way nothing compounds, and maybe you'll save yourself some time. Here's your hydrate rose. Okay. Hey T, how's it going? Welcome on in. Live streaming the heart attack for the content. You know me, Vince. You know me. Okay, let's go and get into some stream upgrades here. So first things first, Minecraft server, right? Actually, I don't know. Let's write down a couple of things that we can upgrade. So, of course, there's Minecraft upgrades. There's computer upgrades, which could have its own subsections. There's audio upgrades. And then there's visual upgrades. Along with that, you know, there are branding upgrades. So that would be things like profile pictures, banners, emotes, panels, different things like that. So you know that can also go in here. New plushie coming along. You know, we could do merch upgrades. Been playing on the server quite a bit, and it's fun. I've been seeing you on the SMP game chat. I haven't had time to pop in and say hello yet, but you know, I appreciate you playing on the server. It's looking like you're having some fun. Let's see. I can't stop sneezing. Help! I sneezed 5 times. Oh no. One little thing that I do to stop me from sneezing if I need to is I take my finger and I put it right underneath my nose. Usually that stops it. I don't know if there's any science behind that, but usually that stops it for me. But yeah, you know, technically we could do a new plushie. I'm thinking, you know, we got some ideas here. Make it 6. Oh no. I hope you're feeling okay, Rose. I hope you feel okay. Got full diamond already. Nice. Oh man, you're set. Once I taped a tissue around my nostrils and I stopped sneezing, you know, one time I just stopped breathing and then I stopped sneezing. I don't know why though, but for some reason I also stopped seeing and hearing and feeling. Let me think. What other kind of things would we want, possibly? I guess there is also the general, additional upgrades, and if we find enough things that are alike in this category, they can end up elsewhere. So, you know, let's just get right into it. This is gonna be expensive. So, you know, with Minecraft, there's not a ton of upgrades that you gotta do with running a server, but there are a couple of things I would like to do. So of course, you know, adding more RAM is one of them, but, you know, we're gonna make a couple of options here. And then we'll kind of pick things as need be. You should definitely do collabs with me when I get a webcam. I might be down to do some collabs sometime this year. I'm not sure. My schedule's gonna get really, really wacky soon. Your boy King might be getting a job. I don't know if I've talked about this yet. Have I talked about it yet? I might have. Let me check. Well, anyway, I might be getting a job, and with that, it very well could, you know, make streaming a little bit difficult. Yeah, I might be a fed soon. Which, you know, just watch out. I can't say that on stream. Never mind. Not gonna say that, but yeah, it's still under review, so I don't know where I am in that process of being hired, but I'm somewhere in between the I looked at it and nothing was wrong with it like immediately, and the you're invited for an interview stage. I'm somewhere in between there. So we'll see. But if that does happen, you know, streams are gonna slow down a little bit. I can't promise that we can do collabs and all that, but I might be down to do something, Rose. We'll have to see if we can work something out. Oh, jeez. Okay. So Minecraft. There's a couple of things here. Oh, I'm being offered pie. I'll wait a minute on that. Just a little bit. Okay. So for Minecraft, there are a couple of things that I can do to upgrade. And I'm just going to hide this for a second. So, you know, of course, we have our buddies, our friends, Shockbite, whom we love so very much. There we go. So, you know, here they are. Oh, okay. You're already sending me stuff with your bot. Okay. So we currently run this plan right here, the 6 gigabytes of RAM. Now, you know, it's working pretty good for now. We actually do the annual plan, so it's $135 a year instead of $15 a month. It's better that way. We could always upgrade, you know, get more RAM, could do us some good. However, I'm not foreseeing the fact that, I'm not foreseeing us needing any more RAM, at least for a little bit. But later down the road, we will. These are things that I'm not necessarily just doing this year, but all around, I just want to do in general. So I do want to run like a Minecraft server network. I think that's the best way to put it. So, the SMP is just phase 1 of that. Eventually, I'd like to have, a bigger server in front of that would, be able to take you to the SMP and take you to a minigame server and take you to a faction server and this and that, that kind of thing. I don't know really how that works yet, though. So, that brings me to a thing. How to run a minigame server for Minecraft. So let's see. Let's say I wanted to go over here. So here on Reddit, let me just make sure I can show you guys this without it getting me into any trouble. It looks like we can. Okay. So here on Reddit, this guy has a question about mini games instance for a network, okay? So this probably will give us something, at least a little bit. It's very, very rare that I turn to a forum and ask this kind of stuff. Usually I'm not bad with it, I just tend to type too much. Do you need a whole separate server? Usually, yes, because you're going to be doing Bungie, and it's a mess. But I'm curious. I'm assuming that they're going to have, a little bit of specifics when it comes to this. Because I don't know how much RAM you're going to need, or what they would say about, hosting it in-house versus, having Shockbyte host it. I don't know the ins and outs of that yet. So I'm going to see if they have it here instead. Would it be better to just do multiverse? Multiverses is a thing. King Buddy, hosting the main server is already pretty expensive. It is. But, this is like things that I could do later down the road. Of course, we're going to stay with our main plan right now where we're only using King SMP, but later down the road, I'd like to do, mini games and such. And I think I have a cheaper way to do it than what they're proposing here. Yes. Ooh. Thank you. I have pie. This is good. This is gonna be good. Now, I don't know what kind of pie exactly. We'll pass the sniff test. It smells like peanut butter. Does it taste like peanut butter is the question. It does. I have myself a peanut butter pie here. Okay. I wasn't really expecting that, but thanks to my mom, that is here now. Anyway, this is more of like a, hey, in 4 years, let's do this kind of deal, more so than a, I'm doing this right now kind of deal. But I'd like to go ahead and get an idea of how it even works, because I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know this bit. So, I'm just curious. Let's see what it says. I'm currently developing a network full-time. Currently, I've got a few general servers, completely worked out. SMP, economy, hardcore, prison, creative. Stuff that I'd be doing. Alongside some currently standalone servers that would be run outside of the main proxy using Velocity. All my instances are using Airplane. Unfortunately, I had to get the idea of making a minigame server too that would be part of this network, and maybe even try my hand at wrestling with some giants in the future one day. It'd be an understatement to say my plans are ambitious or grandiose. Yeah, usually most people that start minigame servers have that issue. Me too. I have a lot of ideas. With help of my amazing friends, I've already got 2, technically 3 original minigames completed and ready for implementation into such server. But with the help of another friend who's also a developer, I was wanting to make an Egg Wars style minigame. Everything from the matchmaking to the inner workings of the game itself would be custom coded, configured by hand, etc. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. I already know how to set up instances, go through configurations with the needed patience too, build in game structures. Those aren't eyesores. How do I do that for me? Okay. Everything currently is hosted locally on my machine, so that's probably my answer really is you should do it on your own machine. But I will be moved onto a dedicated server when the network is near ready for launch. Okay, so he's talking about, you know, having a very, you know, specific set aside server just for him there. You could probably do it through AWS. I'd have to look at how much they charge. Let me see. I'll check that out after this. Let's see. I've got a few plans for carrying it through launch, but overall, this dedicated server is what would be used with all servers having an instance. But how do I do that for a minigame server? A player joins a lobby, they go through a portal that puts them in a lobby server for the minigame server. But now what do you do? The 3 original minigames I mentioned are straightforward, but how would AA work? Abbreviated version of the minigame's name. I feel a little embarrassed to be asking on Reddit about something, blah, 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 blah. The only thing that makes the most sense would be having several instances, given about, let's say, 512 megabytes of RAM that could spin up based on demand, and matchmaking would send players there. They duke it out, winners exist, and then it sends them back to the lobby, rinse and repeat. Would this actually be correct? I'm pretty much looking for some advice or explanation. Okay. This is the basic idea that servers use Hypixel and their ILK. I think they meant like Hypixel and their like have custom versions of Spigot Paper and Bungee Cord Velocity that includes hooks of their command and control system. They do basically the same idea that you're thinking of, normal server network of lobbies. User queues up and it sends a message to their CNC system. CNC system spins up an instance and match makes the players together. So basically, yes, I need to have separate servers on top of servers on top of servers. That makes sense. This might be what you're looking for. Let me see if I can open that up. That link, wow, it's, it's a big link. I don't think I should be fine. I don't think my stuff is anywhere on here. But yeah, AWS, that is something I was thinking about a little bit. AWS free tier. I didn't know they had a free tier. 12 months of free. There's 3 types of offers. Oh, okay. Interesting. I did not know they did this. Well, we're looking for things that are probably going to be along the lines of game tech. Yeah. So, let's see. 125 hours per month of on-demand instant usage. This is just for free. So I would say, if I were paying for it, it'd probably give me more. 15 gigabytes per month of bandwidth. Okay. We're gonna try to price this out a little bit. Let's see what they have for small businesses. Gotta apply for that. Okay. I'm looking for like just a very, very specific page, and I don't know where it is. Products. Okay. Games. Possibly. Game lift. Okay. So, how it works, game client, blah, blah. I mean, they use Ubisoft, for example. That is one company that I think all of us know here. They even use AWS. So, that tells you it's at least reliable. Twitch runs on AWS. So, there's that. If I press this, I have to sign in. Okay. Well, pricing. There we go. So you can get started for free or request a pricing quote. It doesn't look like they just do on demand. You know, I'm going to buy insert thing here. Okay, here we go. I found it. Never mind. So say we were buying it, you know, right now for North Virginia. You would be, I don't know what most of this means. I'm assuming these are all different types of servers, and I don't really have the time to check each and every one of them to see what exactly it is. But I would assume after 365 hours. Let's just price out an actual server, because the way I'm imagining this, it wouldn't be worth it to buy individual servers. You would want to do like a dedicated machine. And then from there, you could scale up to adding things into cloud services instead and running it there. But the way I imagine it, it would actually be better, at least starting out, because you could do virtual machines. And those on one individual server, you know, you could send them between and it should work fine. In theory, of course. So over here, you know, right now, of course, we're going to be paying $135 annually all the time for the SMP until I'm ready to move it over to a dedicated machine, which will then again have another IP change. Oh well. So you know, there's that. So you know, was 135 for the SMP, right? There we go. Also, can I like move this temporarily? Possibly. Hey, Kors, how's it going? So you know, the SMP actually doesn't cost us that much. I guess I should probably do per year for now. So the question would be, can we actually build a server for, where's my calculator? Most PCs last in between 4, 5, sometimes 6 years, depending on what you're doing with it. With a server, I would assume you could safely bet on it lasting 5 years, but we'll say just 4 for the sake of, you know, something does go wrong. Could you build a server that you keep in-house for $540? I think you could. Because Minecraft isn't all that intensive anyway. I mean, here. Gotta close this again. Minecraft server specs. Okay. There we go. Found another site for us to look at. So this is what I actually use whenever I'm trying to figure out, you know, how much I need, along with if I'm helping one of my friends, how much they need. So it's pretty cool how this works. We would be using Linux probably because it's, you know, a lot less resource intensive and it's just better for servers in general. So, you know, let's see kind of what we're looking at here. Players 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 7 plus. Oh, that's with the GUI, okay. Yeah, we'd be doing, like, console. So, there we go, 1 to 5, we want 20 plus. So, you're gonna need 6 gigabytes of RAM, right? Yeah. And you're gonna want a pretty good CPU, we could do AMD, because why not? AMD Ryzen 5 or 7 based CPUs and better. Usually with Minecraft, you want more threads, not more cores. However, in the case of running a server that's running Minecraft, you could do cores and threads, because each core individually would run Minecraft, I think. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's how Minecraft actually runs, is it stays on one core. It doesn't know how to communicate with all of them, I guess. I don't know. That's my understanding of it. And they've just never changed it. So it only ever utilizes one core. But the question, I guess, would be, would it use more cores if you opened up multiple instances of Minecraft? And I think it would. I don't know. I'm good, sir. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm pretty tired, but I'm kind of, just ready to get things going a little bit here. We're planning out some upgrades for, the future, and so far things are actually looking pretty okay, I think. We could actually probably afford this now I'm looking at it a little bit closer. So if you were wanting to do a self-hosting, there are some things you need. So you need to build a system. So that's going to require all your parts. So this would be things like RAM. It would be things like CPU, motherboard. You wouldn't need a GPU because it's going to be running on console, and servers don't render unless you really design it to render, but we wouldn't need a GPU, so that's like $500 knocked off right there. Cooling, yeah, we'll need cooling, so we'll probably just do mostly fans, because why not? You're gonna need a power supply, so PSU, and you're gonna need storage. We'll probably go with an SSD because they're faster and better in general. So you look at that, that's not bad. That's not gonna be too bad anyway. I guess we also need a case, but those change in price all the time. So this is where things are gonna get fun. Actually, I don't know if you're here or not, Deku, Pixel. I think your name is Pixel now. But if you are here, you're gonna get a little insight into how I research PC building, because that's what we're about to do. Let me just make sure I have everything. So you need your RAM, your CPU, motherboard, cooling, PSU, storage case. I use PC Part Picker. PC Part Picker is pretty good, yeah. That's kind of what I was gonna use too. Newegg has their thing as well, but it only searches Newegg instead of all the sites, so I'm pretty set on using Part Picker for now. Yeah, that's really all we'll need at that moment, because I'll have everything else that I probably will want. So we're gonna close this out because I can't let you guys see everything just yet. Partpicker.com, start build. All right. And now this is where things get fun. So we're gonna just start right off the bat. We're gonna want to pick up a motherboard. I'm going to be using an AMD because AMDs are cheaper. We're gonna go with an AM5 because later down the road, that's gonna be what's important, is AM5. If we're talking 4 years down the road, AM4 chipset will probably officially be done. Yeah. Okay. So now we're just going to search for our lowest price and just kind of compare and contrast them. So we've got this one, which is a MSI Pro. So it's our absolute cheapest one. And I only ever buy ones with reviews of at least 4 stars or up. Now this only has 1, so it's like, it might not actually be that good. But it's got 96 gigabytes of max memory. Memory in reference to RAM. Now, one thing to note is it is a micro ATX form factor. That is something you have to be aware of in general with PCs, is there are several different form factors. You got micro ATX, you've got ATX, mini ITX, XL ATX, and EATX. And then there's like a couple of others out there, but your main ones are ATX, micro ATX, and I think XL ATX. Those are your 3 mains, in my opinion. So we're gonna pick a couple of micro ATXs just to look at for now. I don't know how many I can compare at once, but we're going to see if it'll let me compare quite a few. So we got 3 picked out right now. And you just gotta pick out which ones you like and why. Obviously, you don't want to cheap out on stuff too much. And then I want a normal ATX as well. So there's this guy. I actually like my MSI. It's a pretty good one. MSI, I think it's a B550, which would be the little brother to this one. So we can look at that. And this one has quite a lot of reviews as well. So now you can just compare. And let's see what they've got here. So first things first, review-wise, this one technically would have the lowest review score because it's only 1 review at a 4 average. So, you know, it could have either been a really good experience, and it's unlikely that, you know, we get an actually good board like that. Or, alternatively, you know, it's a, you know, subpar board, and, you know, we could do better than that. However, I'm already seeing one thing I don't like about it, and that's only 2 memory slots. I prefer to have 4. It's just better that way. You know, I can do a lot more RAM with 4 sticks rather than 2. So for that reason, we're not even going to pay any more attention to this, but I just wanted to add it for the sake of having the lowest price available, which is $75. But your next step up is $99.99, so $100 for a gigabyte board. Now, I don't use gigabyte. I usually do use MSI. I thought I clicked MSI, but I guess I didn't. Did I? Okay. That's fine. Anyway, gigabytes are cool, I guess. I've heard pretty decent things about them, so we'll take a quick look at it and see what it is. Are you DDR5? So right now I'm using DDR4. I built my PC before DDR5 was out. However, for this build, we are going to go ahead and budget for a DDR5 set, since that will be the standard by the time we're actually building this machine. We're going to be building a lot of PCs today, I guess. Because we're not just building a server, possibly. We're going to be building 2 PCs for the stream. One for gaming and one for streaming. And they'll have their own, you know, quirks about them, I guess. So we have our next lowest price, which is $100 from Gigabyte. It's an AM5 chipset, AM5 socket, AMD chipset. Let's see, 192 max gigabytes. So let's see. That's, if we spread that out across the 4, that's 48 gigabytes in each of the memory slots, which we wouldn't do. I think currently really max stick size that we would want is a 32 gigabyte stick in each one, because that would get you 128. But we wouldn't really even need that much RAM, honestly. It only has one PCIe slot, which doesn't really... Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Okay. There's a couple of PCIe slots, it looks like. That's good. That's good. I was a little bit confused, but we're good now. M2, that's another thing that's important. M2s are for SSDs. So, you're going to want more M2 slots if you can have them. This one apparently has 2 M2 slots, which is good. However, this one has 4, which kind of sets it up ahead for me. I'm going to be honest. That sounds a lot nicer. Plus, it supports a wider range of DDR5 speeds, which, we're going to want to go for top speed anyway. This one supports the highest speed, but is that extra 200 worth more? I don't know. Are you building a streaming PC right now? We're actually looking at possibly self-hosting our Minecraft server, and with that, we would need a new machine. And so I was curious how much that would actually cost. And so that's what we're budgeting right now for, just to see what it would cost us. So yeah, right now we're comparing between a ASRock board and a Gigabyte board. I'm kind of leaning more towards this one just because of the extra M2s. However, you don't need an M2 slot necessarily. It's just nice to have them. You could do SATA connections, which this one has 2, and this one has 4. So it really does actually balance out, because this has 6 in total, 4 M2s, 2 SATAs, 4 SATAs, 2 M2s. I'm building a new PC in the future, mained for Fortnite. That shouldn't be too terribly expensive then. That's good. That's really good. Let's see. Onboard video depends on CPU. Yeah, that's usually how that goes. It doesn't have very many USBs, but that doesn't matter. The thing it doesn't have is any wireless networking, which you don't necessarily need with a server. With a server, all you need is your Ethernet, which, as far as I can tell, besides this one being notably worse than the other ones, this one is the same as all the other ones, 1 by 2.5 gigabytes per second. Gigabits, sorry. They don't support ECC, which is, whatever. Most boards don't if you're trying to come in at a good price point. But yeah, this isn't bad. $100. We'll just say that this is what we go for. I don't know if it is, but let's just say it is. So next, we want a CPU. So we can only do AM5. So let me just make sure that that's marked. Okay. Now, of course, I'd be pressed if we didn't go for lowest price first and just kind of work our way up. So each of these have different amounts of cores. I'm kind of tempted to say we should do a 12 core. However, I think we could get by with an 8. I don't know. So we're going to kind of check, I guess. We'll include one of our 6 gigs. Or, sorry, one of our 6 cores, and then we'll include all the 8s and see what happens. The Ryzen 7 7800 X3D is really good. Let me see. We'll add that definitely in. It looks good. 4.2 gigahertz, 8 cores. Can't really complain with that. It's made for gaming. Yeah, I find most of the Ryzens are pretty good for gaming, honestly. Ow. Ow, ow. Okay. I have a Ryzen 9, I think. It's not AM5 though, so it's not even gonna be on here. I like it's a pretty good, pretty good CPU. Ryzen 3. Everybody starts somewhere, cores. That was a little bit more messy than what I meant for it to be. Okay. Gosh. I have a pie in front of me, and I was just trying to sneak a little lick of it. Let's see. So I'll include that one. We'll include all the 8s. And then we'll include, the 6s that have a review left on them. And just see what happens. So they only show 4 at a time, it looks like. Okay. That's fine. Or wait. Did I only have 4, Mark? No, I definitely had more than that. I had 6. It looks like it'll only allow you to see 4 at a time then. Okay, that's fine. We'll just kind of look at these then. This isn't like super serious searching. It's just kind of giving us an idea of what we're looking for anyway. So first things first, we've got, let's see, they don't have the 7800 on here. I want the 7800 for sure, since you mentioned it. Will that put it on there? Nope. Okay. We're gonna have to pick a little more carefully then. So in that case, we're gonna take off this guy and this guy because they have lower reviews. So what does that leave us? All of these guys. All right. So one thing to always look for is your cores, which in this case, 8 and 6. So this one's a little bit worse off already, but it's also like $80 cheaper. So you gotta remember that as well. It is a little bit faster on the clock speed. Not when you're boosting though, but we wouldn't be doing that. It doesn't have as much cache on L2. Supports the same amount of memory. Doesn't say how many threads it has. Usually they tell you the threads. If I go in here, will it tell me the threads? I'm gonna have to hide that because it's gonna try to show my address in the top left. Because that's that's Amazon for you. Let's see, how many threads? Okay, I'm not finding anything relating to the threads. What the heck? 12 threads. Okay. That's at least something. Thank you. Okay. I'm not going to go through and check each and every one with how many threads each one has, but it was something that was kind of interesting to me. This one includes a cooler, so I wouldn't have to buy a CPU cooler. And it's not much more expensive than this one. So, that's one thing to note. Partially because I guess they are pretty much the same one, besides the fact that it's not nearly as good of a core clock. But, on the inverse of that, it comes with a cooler. Now, am I in that desperate need of a cooler? No, I'd be able to pay for one. So, there are disadvantages to both. But in terms of ratings, this one's got a really, really good rating. Now you got this one over here, which is a beast, and its price reflects that. Pretty comparable and just overall a step up. But when it comes to CPUs, oh, I'm already seeing a issue apparently. What is it? Does not include a stock CPU. Okay, I didn't need to know that. I was already gonna add a CPU cooler. That's fine. Let's go ahead and add a CPU cooler just to get rid of it then. So it is for AM5. Do they have an AM5? Yes, okay. And then what do we need? We're not gonna worry about, you know, water cooling when it comes to a server. Anything will really do. We just need something that's gonna sit there and do its job. I've heard okay things about the Be Quiets, but we could splurge and go for a Noctua. Noctuas are quiet, they're nice. Let's see, are we just on, yeah, CPU coolers. So, let's see. This guy's already got 5 stars. One thing you also want to look at is your RPM, because that'll dictate how cold it actually will get. So we'll grab that one. We'll grab the top rated one. And we'll grab this guy as well, because he's cheap. So it'll kind of give us a little bit of a range at least. So this is the top rated one. It is also the most expensive. It has less RPM and more noise. Has more height. Now I don't know necessarily if that makes it a better fan or not. Or a worse fan, sorry. But you know, it's not quite as good as this one in terms of RPM and noise, which are pretty important, all things considered. This one only has 1 RPM, which means I'm assuming that's either on or it's off. And it is a little bit more noisy than all the other ones, but not the worst thing in the world. Okay. I think I would personally go for this one. It's not much more expensive than this one. Has better, you know, details here about noise level and RPMs. So that would be our go-to there anyway. Now memory, the good news is here you don't need a ton of memory for Minecraft. Now we would want more. So, you know, I would like to have 64 gigs at minimum, which would require 16 gigabyte sticks. So that would be DDR5. We either want 2 16 gigabytes or 2 32s or 4 16s, or we could do 4 32s possibly, I guess. That's a thing. Just see what's the lowest ones with ratings. Team Group I've heard about. I don't know if they're any good, but we'll see what they're all about. Crucial is pretty well known. So we could always go with them as well. The other thing to note is you do want some speed. Do they not have the speeds on here? Doesn't look like it. Okay. That's fine. I'll look at those manually then. I want to try to get some different brands. So Corsair, they're pretty well known. The Vengeance series. We'll put that one on there, and then I'm trying to find another one that I recognize. G-Skill. However, they don't have any ratings on that one. So G-Skill Flare right here. That should be good. Okay. So yeah, let's compare those and see what's going on here. So of course this one has the lowest ratings. 2 ratings, 3.5 average. That's not reassuring. This one is even lower in price, but has 2 ratings with a 5.0 average, which means both people rated it 5 stars. The other thing to note is how much modules you've got, which all of them are 2 16GB cards, so that's good. Or not cards, what do you call a stick? 2 sticks. All same form factor. Now speeds is where the other thing comes in. This one is a lower speed than this one, but it's higher than these. So this would be kind of our mid-range, I guess. Let's see. That's really the most important thing. Timing, that's pretty important. To match up at least. You want to match your timings and such. So this isn't a bad one either. It's also got a heat spreader, which is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and add that. And can we make that 2? Which one was it? Was it the Team Group T Create Classic? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So, that already puts us at, more than what this current server is worth, I believe, in terms of 135 times 4. Yeah. Now, if we did 135 times 5, we're still over, but not by much. And we haven't even added everything to this yet. But the idea is this would hopefully last longer and provide more. Because with 64 gigs of RAM, you're looking at, a pretty beastie server in terms of all things. Along with, your pretty beefy CPU along with that. Now, when it comes to storage, we want an NVMe. I guess, yeah, we'll have to mark down that it's an M2 then. Okay. Which one do I want? Just mark down all M2s. It doesn't really matter the form factor too much as long as it fits. So one thing you could do is you could go with, a pretty low capacity drive, but if you're gonna do a server, you can actually do compartments and such, and it would last you a good while. So I'm actually thinking capacity, you're gonna want a terabyte. Well, let's just go for a full terabyte and see what they've got. There's an Intel. Intels are fine. So we'll just go ahead and add that one. And just to get it all settled up and done, we do need a case. The good news is, since I don't really care what it is, I can kind of look at each of these very, very quickly. That one looks like it has okay airflow. So yeah, we're gonna buy this one. Although there is the Cooler Master, which I am familiar with their brand. They're not a bad brand at all for only $1.01 more, and it has plenty of reviews. That gives me at least some sort of hope there. Although that is a micro ATX. It doesn't already have that set. Okay, we need an ATX full tower. Okay, there we go. In that case, let me see. Airflow. This guy is going to bake. We'd have to add more fans. Game Max. There's some more stuff there. Oops. Doesn't say how much fans it comes with, but it has 8 3.5 bays, which is pretty decent. I mean, look at that. That would be perfect for a server. So yeah, we're gonna say we'll pick that one. It works. It just works. Operating system, I think, does it have Linux on here? No. Okay, well, we won't even put it on here then, because we don't need anything else there. And then I suppose your final thing is a power supply. Now, its estimated wattage is 280 watts. However, I don't know. Wattage are estimates only. Actual power draw may differ from listed values. Usually you have to go way higher than what they recommend there. Usually. It is an ATX. Okay. I'd say you need at least 500 watts usually. Usually. You don't, when it comes to power supply, you don't really want to cheap out. Pick a name brand usually. Like EVGA, they're well known. Now it's only 80 plus. Usually I like to go with a 80 plus gold, bronze, platinum, or titanium. I guess we could throw silver in there as well. Okay. EVGA, there we go. 650 watts, sure. So, that brings us to a grand total of $912. That doesn't include a graphics card, which we don't need, or additional storage, which we don't need. But that tells me right there, you know, it could be a little bit beefy to do self-hosting. Oh. But, you know, it could also be decent, you know. I copy the link and do... Trying to remember how you do this. I think I remember. It's like that and like that. Apply. There we go. Okay. I'm not even gonna bother going through and pricing it out. I'll be able to find it through the link later on if I wanted to. We'll come back to computer upgrades since we just did, like, you know, 30 minutes of that. I want to talk about some other things like audio. Audio is pretty sick. So you need a microphone. You need an audio interface. And let's see, is there anything else that you need? There are a couple things. So, headphones. We need to upgrade our headphones. And I think that's fine for now. Is this OBS or do you use it? I do use it occasionally. What's going on, Stratus? My Twitch Studio is bugging out. Oh no, I don't use Twitch Studio. I try to stay away from that one. I've heard it's not the greatest. I usually use Streamlabs, but I do know a fair amount about OBS in general, just because I've been slowly making the migration towards it. Let's see, black line caused by the overlay. Yeah, I mean, if I did this, it would fix it. I just have to full screen. I don't usually full screen though. OBS makes my internet crap out. Really? Interesting. I have to be careful, I would say, with OBS in that regard, because I do sometimes add too much bit rate, and if you do that, you can kind of mess up stuff. It's unfortunate. Lags when I play Valorant? I think. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Twitch Studio. I'm trying to think of what would be causing the OBS to lag with Valorant. You have tried running it as administrator, right? Just to be sure. Oops. Visual upgrades, you need a new camera. We would want a new face cam. You guys are starting to learn some things about it here. Yes, I think at least one. Okay. Let me think. Building a new PC? Probably yeah. I'm thinking we will. We're planning out a whole bunch of stream upgrades for the next, couple of years. And a new PC is definitely on that list. This one works fine. It's just it needs some more love. And in order to love it, I need another PC to help it. This thing can game, but when it tries to game and stream at the same time, it has trouble. So I have to kind of choose sometimes. Like, for example, I really love Starfield. I cannot stream Starfield, though, because the PC it can't do it for whatever reason. So having a streaming PC with a gaming PC and then connecting those two up, it would be pretty okay, I think. It's got my kid a micro PC and it runs Val at 120 FPS. That's pretty darn good. Those micro PCs nowadays, man, they used to kind of be junk, but nowadays they're not bad. They really are not bad. $300. Couldn't ask for much better performance out of that then. Jeez. I'm gonna have to take a look at those. That might not be a bad way to do a streaming PC anyway. Because all it has to do is be able to encode, and you can do that even off of just a processor alone. So I might have to look into those. Let me add that to here. Streaming PC, which could be micro PC or custom build. Just see what those things are. I thought about the same. Yeah. I have a couple of friends who took old Macs, like the little boxes that are Macs, and they stream with those with their Xbox, and it's like, whoa, I never thought about using that, but they're like, yeah, I got it for like $100 because somebody was just throwing them out, and it's like, okay, well, that works. That definitely works. Let's see. Has a Ryzen 7 and 1 terabyte with 32 gigabytes of RAM. Has a turbo port to run an external GPU as well. Wow. They really thought up that machine. A Ryzen 7 is a force to be reckoned with at times. And 32 gigs of RAM will get you through pretty much any game. I can't really think of any game that you would need more than that. I have 64 gigs of RAM in my PC, and I almost never use it unless I am streaming and playing a game that I'm trying to do like 4K textures with. Like, you don't ever really need 4K textures. Let's see, B-Link. I want to... Okay. Can I look at it now? I opened up an Amazon link and I just want to make sure I'm not gonna dox myself. It looks like I'm okay. Okay. Here we go. I just changed the location to Armenia, so we're fine now. But this is the thing you're talking about, a B-Link mini PC. This one's the Intel, so it's, you know, it's an Intel, but you know, I prefer AMD anyway. They're better for your price. Let's see. GTR 7 is or was the fastest. Okay. It'll probably change over again here in a second. So GTR 7 B-Link. Now it's showing me a whole bunch of GTRs. Okay. I think this might be it, because it doesn't have the Ryzen 7 in there. This one only has 16 gigs of RAM, but that's still not bad. Just to look at even, which there goes. Up to 64 gigabytes of DDR4. Okay. 8 cores, 16 threads. Up to 2 terabytes of storage. That's... Oh, it has Type-C display and HDMI. Okay, so you can actually even just put it on multiple monitors. That's actually cool. Huh. That's what she has, exact CPU. This is actually kind of sick, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to, copy that link and, just throw it right here. Can I get that in a micro link or, whatever it's called? Where's the share button? Copy link. See if it'll let me do it now. There we go. Okay. That's better. That is so much better. Can I put a link in chat? It'll probably block the link. Usually it does anyway. Both Twitch and the bots. They they love shooting those down. Gosh. That's actually not a bad deal though. I wanted to ask first. Well, I appreciate it. I really do. I'm trying to think. What other visuals would we want? Green screen. That's another one. And Elgato has some great green screens out there. I have a fake green screen. It's just AI. It works. It does the job. But I'd like to do an actual green screen because videos are cool. What's your monitor? So I have a couple. I have a... I don't know what their names are exactly, but I have a Samsung monitor, an Acer monitor, and then I have a really, really old HP monitor. The Samsung runs on HDMI. The Acer runs on HDMI or display, and then the HP runs on VGA. So I have a nice little collection here. Refresh rate. So the Acer, that's the only one I'm familiar with because that's the one I actually game on. It is a 144 refresh rate, 144 hertz, and it does the job. It's not quite as good as some other people's monitors out there, but it, you know, like I said, it works, I guess. I'd like to get all of the monitors matching at some point, but we'll have to wait and see. AOC 240 hertz is or was $200. You know, I wasn't really thinking too much about upgrading monitors, but you're kind of making me think I might want to now. Let's get some monitors. We'll throw those up there as well. Cause that's the thing, like, I only need one really, really good monitor for gaming. The other two can be pretty much whatever, honestly. I don't care about the refresh rate. Cause one I use pretty much exclusively for Discord, just so that I can keep an eye on it and make sure nobody's pinging me for insert reason here. And the other one I use for stream and Twitch chat, so I love having 3 monitors, but I gotta be careful as well and make sure I don't spend too much money on them. Let's see. My next is a 360 hertz. I play Val too much. If not, look at BenQ. Let me that's the wrong button. Let me look at them. Let's see. So you said AOC 240 hertz. Okay, these aren't bad. Yeah, $175 for a 27-inch curved monitor. I will say that is one thing I love. I have 2 curved monitors, and they're just beautiful. You could go up to the... Don't go up to the QHD. Never mind. I was like, I wonder... how's an OLED monitor? No, we're not doing that. BenQ is one... was the ones pro Val players used in VCT. Okay. I haven't played Val a whole lot recently, but I'd like to get back into it, so it wouldn't hurt to have a nice monitor. Shoot, those things are dirt cheap, too. Gosh, okay. Hang on. OLED is the king, FYI. Oh, absolutely. Every time I walk into, like, a Best Buy, I always go over there and look at them, and I go, man, I wish I had money. Let's see, BenQ, I'm gonna assume it's probably Bink, maybe, possibly, I don't know, I'm gonna keep calling him BenQ, I think it's a little bit easier to say. I don't know, let's see, can I, like, buy one for PC, please, and thank you. I mean, they all run on the same thing. Okay, maybe they're not dirt cheap, but they still look very nice. Here, let me share this with you guys. It's gonna be bright. If you're in a dark room, just shield your eyes for a second. Okay. So these monitors right here, they're actually not badly priced, all things considered. Given the fact that they are, 2K monitors and such. Now, not all of them are, but even down here, like, they're not badly priced. My kid has a Blink. Is that how it's pronounced? Blink 144. Okay. Let's see. I'd want at least 144, but okay, it won't let you do multiple. Well, let's just see what a 240 is. Okay, they're a little expensive. And I will say that I don't think these are curved, but that is what it is. And one other thing I should look at, thank you, my bad fat fingers, they're not, okay. That's fine. What are we gonna be doing? I'm just looking at upgrades and stuff for stream and such. Yeah, they're not curved. Yeah, I mean, I could part with one curved monitor. It's fine. So we are chatting? Yes, we are, Derek. It's been a minute since we've done that, I guess. Do they have any curved screens? They do have a couple. Okay. Now, are they any good? That's up for debate. I mean, they're 144 and 165 hertz. So, and most of them are discontinued or out of stock. Gay white man or gay black man, choose king. I feel like no matter what I choose, I'm in a trap. So I'm going to choose not to answer. So let's see. Anyway, monitors are gonna be fun. I think I would like a I think I really would like to have a OLED for my next monitor if I could find one, but it'd be pretty tough to find. Picture quality is better on the BenQ than the AOC I run. My AOC is curved. Okay. Let me pop open AOC and see what they've got. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm also showing that it is also on Armenia, which, yeah, it says 205 shipping. Yeah, I'm not in Armenia, I promise. It won't cost me that much. That's mine. It looks nice. Let's see. 240 refresh rate, 0.5 millisecond response time. 27 inches. I think mine is my main one 32 or 27. It might be 27. I don't remember. It's it's been so long since I bought this thing. They have an OLED option? Okay. I might have to look into this. Low input lag, built-in speakers. Mine's supposed to have built-in speakers. It doesn't though. Okay, one thing I want to do before we continue on, monitor arms. I don't have any monitor arms, and I really wish I did, because it would make my desk a whole lot cleaner. Okay, back to this. So let me see if it'll give me more options here if I actually go back to the US. This one. Okay, no, it doesn't give me more options. That's fine. Well, if I wanted like a nicer monitor, yeah. Okay. They're not bad. It's definitely not bad pricing, so we'll have to look into more of those for sure. I would like a higher refresh rate, at least for one of the monitors, because it wouldn't kill me, you know. I feel like with 144 in general, I don't do as good as I'd like. So having more frame rate, maybe it'll fix it. Who knows? Like, and I think I'd be able to tell the difference, so that would be nice. Let me think. Is there anything else we need to talk about here? At least on visual or audio. I'm sure I'll think of something. For now, we'll just keep going down, though. Additional upgrades, of course. Of course, you want to have a what is it called? Stream Deck. Those things are lovely little devices. I have an iPad that does it right now, but I'd like to have an official Elgato Stream Deck. They do a lot of cool things that I'd like to have access to. Of course, I need a new mouse. My current mouse has been with me for 7 years now, I believe, and it has taken a beating, and it's crap. It's I bought it for 14 bucks. You get what you pay for. The fact that it still works is kind of amazing. I'm gonna order a keyboard from my friend. He does custom keyboards, and I think it'd be really cool to order one from him at some point. So you know, we'll definitely have to talk to him about that. I don't know what it would cost. Maybe a new headset for extra upgrades. Yeah, I definitely am intending for a new headset. I've got one up here for audio upgrades. This one just needs it all around. One, cushions are falling off. Two, it's Corsair. And I don't want. I've had issues with Corsair. Let me just say that. They're a great company most of the time. It's just for whatever reason, every single headset I've had from them has the same issue of just falling apart or uninstalling their drivers and reinstalling crap drivers right directly into the dongle. And so you get a ton of static and low quality out of it, and it's awful. I think they've fixed it for most of them, mostly because they've ditched the dongles entirely. But I just it still bothers me though that the headphone cushions fall out pretty much all the time. Please do not buy Turtle Beach. They are junk. Absolutely, I intend to stay away from those. Mouse, I'd say SteelSeries. That's where I got my current keyboard from, and I've been loving it. And I think I got a couple of friends that use SteelSeries as well, so we'll look at SteelSeries for sure. I also have a discount to Logitech. I don't know how much their mice cost. Probably a lot. Logitech is kind of pricey most of the time, but I'd like to check them out, see what they've got. So that's a thing. Keyboard. Honestly, I don't need a new keyboard at the moment, but if I have the money for it, I'd like to order one from just cause he's one of my friends and he does custom keyboards. So we'll throw him down there and see maybe if he can give me a quote on that. Otherwise, I'll just stick with my current one. SteelSeries is honestly not that bad. I also have their mouse pad, which I might be due for a new mouse pad. Maybe we could even order a custom mouse pad, I think. Pretty sure there's a couple out there that do custom prints and stuff. I got one of the really long ones that are like, how long is this? Probably a foot long maybe? No, sorry. Longer than that. 3 feet? I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. It's 3 feet. I can only think in the size of Subway sandwiches. I am that American. And so I'm like, okay, hang on. 1 sandwich, 2 sandwich, 3 sandwich. Okay. Be careful with Logitech because some of their software has activated anti-cheats in some games like Valorant and has banned accounts. Yeah, I've heard some of those issues, so I'd like to investigate a little bit. But I don't know. I'm trying to remember what mouse my friend has, but they have an issue similar to that where like Valorant won't let them use their mouse if they unplug it or have to plug it in because they use a wireless mouse like a psycho. Although that being said, there's nothing wrong with wireless mice. It's just latency will always bite you in the butt. But that's besides the point. But if they have to plug in their mouse to charge, usually it kicks them from the game. Or it won't let them use their mouse or whatever. And so it's like, okay, well, that's fun. Let me think. What else? What else do we want to throw on here? Let's throw the mouse pad on here just for fun. I don't know if we'll need it or not, but if we want it, we can get it. Mouse pad. We could just replace the entire setup, really. And I guess with that brings in branding as a question entirely, which I've got people I would like to commission for emotes, which there's gonna be tons of those. I've got to get suggestions from people on that. I run a Minecraft server. I'm gonna need like a couple of things done for branding there. That's gonna probably be pretty expensive. I gotta just set aside a lot of money for that in general. And merch upgrades, that was mostly a joke, and it still is. But let's just throw some things down here for fun. Somebody mentioned plushies. And we'll do, of course, t-shirts or something like that. We'll price those out just for fun, maybe. I don't know how much plushies would cost, but I'm assuming a lot. Although I think I've never done it before, but I kind of know how to sew. I did a, I did a little bit of research on it when I was still younger and in school, and it looked easy. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. I don't know why that was my thing to watch, but that was what I liked to watch as people sew. So I know a little bit about that. So if I needed to, I could do it all alone. Handmade. Yeah, we'll just price those out for fun anyway. Let's see. So, audio upgrades. So there's a couple of microphones to look at. One being the Shure SM7B. Sorry. Shure SM7B. Then, of course, you also have several Rode mics. Rode has some pretty cool stuff out there. And I think Audio Technica, which is what I currently have some higher up products than what I've got currently. I have an AT2020, and I think they have some nicer ones that we could even look at, possibly. Yeah, there we go. Then there's audio interfaces, which brings you to things like, I have a Focusrite, which I would be willing to keep around, but I don't know if I necessarily want to go with that next time around. Elgato has their Wave. Is that Wavelink, I think? I think that's what it's called, but it's a very nice thing, and it comes with some good software. That's the nice thing about Elgato, is the software, not necessarily the product itself. And then, of course, everybody always recommends Go XLR. So we could actually go and look at that. I don't know if Go XLR is actually any good, though. Headphones. So for headphones, I know I don't want to go with Corsair this next time. Audio Technica has quite a lot in options there. You've got Logitech, which we'll figure out more about how much that costs. SteelSeries has theirs, and I know it's usually pretty recommended for the most part. And then there was one more that I wanted to look at, and I can't remember what it's called. Is it HyperX? I think HyperX is the one that does the other headset. I don't know. So, there's those things as well. Now, a camera I'm wanting is actually for vlogging purposes, and just random things like that. So there's a couple of cameras I want. GoPro. For obvious reasons, you will want a GoPro for some of this stuff. And then I believe Sony usually is the one to go for in terms of cameras there. There's a lot of other ones, but for video, I would choose Sony. Face cam, you could honestly upgrade to a Sony and just skip, USB interfaces and go straight to having a HDMI input. Which for that case, you would also need a capture card, which should go down here as well, because I kind of forgot about that. Capture cards are expensive, but they're gonna be necessary in this scenario of upgrades and such, which we're gonna slowly do. Before anybody goes, King, are you gonna really spend all this money all at once? No. No. This is like probably over the course of a couple of years. I'll probably buy all this as we go. Yeah. Okay. So green screen. Elgato has a nice one. We'll just probably go with them, honestly. Or we'll even look at a build your own option. See what happens. Monitors, we kind of talked a little bit about those. So AOC was mentioned. BenQ was mentioned. And I also really do like my Acer. And I've heard great things about MSI. We'll also look at Samsung, but I don't necessarily know how theirs holds up to everybody else's. So we'll kind of look at all of those and compare, contrast, you know, the usual. Monitor arms, usually it's just whatever's cheapest. I don't think any household names necessarily exist in that market. Stream Deck, that is an Elgato right there. We've looked at possibilities for mice, keyboards, mousepad. That's mostly just a joke, probably. I have an Acer laptop, really enjoyed Acer. I used to have an Acer laptop as well. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't even meant for gaming, and we still gamed with it. My friend got his stuff in about 1.5 years. Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably where I'd be at with it as well. Now, I'm also looking at a lot of stupid things that we don't necessarily need, like a new mic or, you know, webcams and stuff like that. But I'd like to get some of this stuff over time. First and foremost, PCs are probably the most important, which we're actually going to go spec out another PC here in a minute. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the PC. Let's do the gaming PC, because I know more about that than I do streaming PCs. So, PC part picker time. Start new. So, AMD build with a NVIDIA card. That's how I usually go. It works. It just works. Yeah. Where's AM5? I looked up the cost for mine, and this is what it came out to be. Almost $2,000. Jeez. Yeah, that sounds about right. AM5, there we go. That definitely sounds about right to me. Okay. There's the newer generation of what I have. I have an MSI Tomahawk. Mine's a B550 though, but this is really what I think I'm looking for anyway. So I'll grab that one and compare it to a Gigabyte, sure. And we'll also compare it to a Asus, sure. Gonna be saving for a while. I don't know much about PCs though, so I might have to redo it. Yeah, PCs can be a little bit tricky. I don't know as much as I used to because I haven't been keeping up with the latest tech, but if you can manage to keep up with it, you know, it's not super complicated. So let's see, motherboards. AM5, all of them are ATX form factor, which is perfect. The AMD B650s with a 192 memory max, DDR5, 4 memory slots. This one supports the highest range. 2 PCIe slots. PCIe 16. This one's 3. This one's 2, this one's 1, this one's 2, this one's 2. So this one has the most, but realistically, I'd appreciate the higher DDR5 speeds in general. They all have the same amount of M2 slots. I don't really know exactly what each of the numbers means, to be entirely honest. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that has to do with speeds. So, that's a thing. This one has 6 SATAs, which is good for gaming in general. Most of it's going to be on M2s. One's going to be the operating system, which will probably have like 128 gigs on it. And then we'll do like a couple, like 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte SSDs, NVMEs to go along with that. And then you could do a couple of SSD SATAs as well. And that would be more than enough. Let's see. USB headers. I might have to get a USB hub at some point. Okay, yeah, I honestly, this one just, it works better for me in general. So that gets most of it done. I like the prices by merchant, so you can compare the prices at other places. Yes, this one does very, very well. This site, it's just the best. It really is. Video card. Now this is where things get really expensive because I want an NVIDIA card. And we're right now looking at the 50 series coming out, but 40 series is what we're going to base our price off of. Now, I don't know. Okay, they don't have just in general NVIDIA. So 4090, 4080 Super, 4080, 4070 Ti Super, 4070 Ti, 4070 Super, and 4070. I currently have a 3070, so the 4070 is like the big brother, essentially. So let's kind of work our way up. So you have 3 fans, you're a Gigabyte. I have EVGA. They're kind of my go-to, but if I'm not mistaken, they actually kind of quit manufacturing GPUs, so I don't know. This is a 4070. Do they have any others? 4070 Super from Zotac, which only has 2 fans. I like the 3-fan model, honestly. However, I also understand, to keep it within the same price range or similar price range, you have to sacrifice some things. So fans might be lost here. Core clocks. So these are actually different core clocks as well. What the heck? Interesting. So we do have to kind of watch for that, I guess, just a little bit. It seems like all of Asus's are marked that way though, so it might be wrong on the listing in general. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, for a 4070 Super, which are basically more prime for the Super Series cards are more useful for like AI, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not like a necessity to get one of those. 3060 is good, right? 3060, it's not a bad card, that's for sure. It is considered last gen by now. However, like I said, it's not a bad card. It would be like the it would be, I guess, a step down from the 3070, which is what I have, and mine runs perfectly fine. Pretty much any game I throw at it, it runs fine. It only has trouble sometimes running, like, brand new games while streaming. But I play Starfield in my free time at max settings, and it doesn't even break a sweat. So I think a 3060 should be fine. I'm trying to think of a game that does lag with it while I'm not streaming, and I am running full settings, and I think the only one I can think of right now is Battlefront 2, and that was because I turned the resolution scale up to 200, which basically made it really, really high quality. And even then, it doesn't lag immediately. It takes, it takes a decent amount of heat before it starts to lag, in my opinion, anyway. So I'd say a 3060 is probably a safe bet, especially if you don't intend to play anything with max settings. We'll just say a 4070 is fine there. It gives us at least the price range. Oh, promo discounts. Let's go. So that is already half the PC right there in price, because we're about to add a CPU, and this is going to get really expensive. I am not downgrading when it comes to this. We are going AM5, of course. And I want, at minimum, I have currently 12 cores, so that tells you where we're going with this. And yeah, so let's just start with lowest price, which is this guy. He's got some pretty good reviews. I also would like to look at this one because it's better than this one, I think. Just by looking at it initially, it looks like it's better. And I'd like to look at one of the 16 gigabyte ones, which this one's looking like it's better than the other two. So let's compare those three and take a quick look. So 16 cores, usually, you know, I don't use a ton of power for my CPU, but sometimes I do max it out. And it's a rarity, but sometimes I do it. So 12 cores, that's what I currently have, which is also 24 threads. I'm assuming with 16 cores, I have more threads as well. That's an assumption. Assumptions are not always the safest, but I'm not going to do a ton of research on a fictional PC. Once I'm actually more serious about buying stuff, then I'll actually look at it and ask a couple of friends and such. As a larger L2 cache, no cooler included, though. This one does, though. I don't need a cooler, though. I'm probably going to go liquid cooling again, honestly. What wattage are you looking for? I don't necessarily care about wattage. I'll just buy a beefy power supply and it'll be fine. So this one's just above and beyond better. It's 550 bucks. Okay. Yes. Nice. Water cooled. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Price. So I'm trying to think. A 3-fan model would be nicer, I think, honestly. I currently run a 2-fan model and it works, but I think I'd rather do a 3-fan model. And so 3 fans usually is 360. So we'll try to cut out all the other ones and see. And usually I went with a Cooler Master, and I have loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I would say that's probably what I'd go with then. And of course, you got better ones right here, supposedly. So we'll just mark that one. And then there's the one up here. And there should be one more. Pretty sure they have one more. Here we go. That's deep cool. There's Cooler Master. Okay. This one has more information. Okay. Compare. All right. This is where things get interesting. They're all basically the same RPM. This one's a little bit less, but it's it's not bad. These have basically same noise level. Yeah, I mean, they're all the same, really. So let's just go with this one. Okay, our estimated wattage is already almost 500. That does not surprise me. Hey, Ali, how's it going? How is the rest of Subnautica? If you guys haven't already, please follow Shopcats. Press the button at the top of chat if you have it. If you don't have it there, there's going to be a link that pops up in chat shortly. But check out their next stream. They're playing some Subnautica Below Zero. They were hunting for some achievements. And it was a pretty good time while I was over there. So I'm assuming it probably stayed a pretty good time. Pretty good. My back hurts and I'm hungry, so I found a good time to pause it and took it. Alright, sounds good. Well, hopefully you get lots of food today. And I also hope that your back doesn't hurt for very much longer. So if you gotta run and get all that taken care of, we understand. Nom nom noms. What we're doing right now is we're just hanging out on just chatting, and we're trying to build a PC, just hypothetically, because it's expensive. Yeah, mine's definitely gonna be 2,000. It's gonna come in at or above 2,000. There's just no way it doesn't. So that's the thing that we're gonna deal with. On the bright side, I probably won't have to pay shipping. Of course, you gotta go 64 gigs of RAM. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So if you gotta head out, though, and take care of yourself, feel free to, Ali. We'll be around. So currently, I do, at least 64 gigs. So the best way to do this would be, not you, these. Yes, thanks so much. I'll try to stop in before you end. Alright, sounds good. I hope you have a good dinner, and I hope your back feels better soon. Again, 64 as well, 416 gigabyte sticks. It would be nice to get 128, but I'd have to do the pricing to make sure that that's doable. Because of course, you know, you gotta be careful with where you're spending your money. I do have Corsair Vengeance, and it is a very good set of sticks. 256, gosh. I don't even think my CPU would support that. Show less. Do we have brands? Yes, okay. Corsair is good, Crucial is good, G-Skill is good. Those are the ones I know in that space. I've heard of Team Group as well, so we'll go ahead and throw them in. Throw their hat in the ring. So really what we're looking for is lowest price for each gigabyte, which is actually, weirdly enough, for a 32 stick. But you have a lower DDR5 speed. So I don't know. Have a wonderful stream, King. Leaving you on lurk, man. Thank you so much, CC. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. We'd probably want to go with a higher speed then. I'd like to be at least in the 5,000 speed mark, which then throws you into needing your 16 gigabyte sticks. However, not much, well, I guess it is much more expensive. It's just gonna be expensive no matter what, is what it's looking like. We would probably go with the Corsair Vengeance then. Again, they're just better, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a little bit terrifying. It's gonna be pretty expensive. Okay, yeah, that puts us at almost our 2,000 mark. But that gives you 128 gigs of memory, so that's nice. Which is more than what I have now. Now, do I need 128? No. Do I want it? Yes. additional memory. So I don't remember how many NVMe slots we have, but M2s are just better. So we're gonna select all our M2 slots, and we want for our first drive. So that's where I keep my operating system. That would be 128 gigs. You could run your server off your PC. Absolutely. Like, that would be something I would like to do one day, actually. I'm not familiar with Patriot, so I wouldn't feel comfortable necessarily buying a $18 stick here, but I'm sure it's fine. Team Group, however, I do actually know, and Inland I know. Inland and Team Group, these two, they're about the same price, honestly. Where's Inland? There we go. Yeah, they're about the same price, and this one's 256, so we're gonna add that one. That's where I just host my operating system, to be very, very clear there. How much do we have in terms of M2s? So we have 2 more slots. In general, for gaming, keeping them all on SSDs is better. So we're gonna add more M2 slots. And for capacity-wise, you want at least 1 terabyte now. Ideally, I'd like... Can we go with 2 terabytes? At minimum. I gotta filter them out. Crucial, Samsung, Seagate, Western Digital, AMD apparently makes them. I don't know. I don't know if I'd really trust that, to be honest. Corsair. Who else do I know in this field? Inland, Intel, and MSI. Those are really, I think, all the ones. SanDisk. Yeah, those are probably the guys I would trust. Team Group, no, I would not. I don't think I would trust Team Group, to be honest. Okay. There we go. That's a whole lot better. So this is where I'd be keeping games at. So we got a Western Digital here. Do we have any that are like higher than 2 terabytes on this list? We got a 4 terabyte here. And okay, let me scroll back down. And let's select another one that's not Western or Crucial. So we got I don't really know a whole lot about MSIs. NVMEs, so I'm not gonna select one if it doesn't have any reviews necessarily. That just doesn't sound like a good idea. Now, Inland, on the other hand, I do know a little bit about. These are both the same price. They're exactly the same as far as I can tell, besides the PCIe interface. So we'll go ahead and just select that one. And then we'll select Seagate, I guess. Compare them. So, I mean, this one is notably way higher. But it isn't quite the price of 2 of each. So, I mean, that is one thing to note. Yeah, no, I think I'd rather go with one of these and then just rolling with that for a little bit, and then later on we could go with a better one. Okay. Yep, that's almost 2,000 right there. Okay. We don't have a case or a power supply yet, which is where things get interesting. Case-wise, I don't really care too much about, but power supply, I do. So, of course, you gotta select all your types here. It currently says our estimated wattage is 575. I would say we need at least 800. So we'll go for 850 then. That sounds right to me anyway. Now, of course, you don't want to buy one that you don't feel comfortable with again. So Corsair, EVGA, MSI. In this space, Gigabyte would probably be fine as well. Seagate has a 4 terabyte for $85. Is that a hard drive or is that an SSD? Because I was looking at NVMe's. They load faster and are generally just more reliable. And so usually what you do is you'll get one of those for at least your operating system, which I already budgeted for 256. And that can also host a couple of games, maybe even, but I would try to not do that. But with NVMe's, they load super fast. They're really nice. Okay, I think those are all the ones I would really want to buy. So MSI actually has the lowest here. I don't know if I... Okay, it is modular, which is nice. Yeah, I think it's a little bit nerve-wracking with it being only $100. But I'd imagine it's probably okay. And again, this really all won't matter too much. It's about getting ballpark range. So now we need a ATX desktop, ATX full tower. Okay. Yeah. I think outside of that, just gotta make sure. Internal HD, okay, yeah, those are generally cheaper, but they are slower than the, Give me a second, I gotta itch this, and I can't really do that without, unbuttoning the shirt just a little bit, and you guys don't get to see that, not for free. I will tell you what, guys, this monitor, it's not bad. And it actually doesn't get in the way, and it's not like super uncomfortable. It's the thing it sticks to. It's so itchy, the sticky pad. I hate it. I guess you're not supposed to like it necessarily either. Okay. Now I think Cooler Master actually makes cases. So we'll look at Corsair. We'll look at Cooler Master. Let's see, anyone else in here that I would want to look at? MSI probably has okay ones. NZXT, I've heard great things about them. Okay. That is a frame, okay. I was gonna say, that is not a case. Okay, this one right here, it's got airflow. That's... You really can't complain with that kind of airflow. It looks like it comes with several stock fans as well, which is nice. So we'll just... Oh my gosh, wow, that is expensive. I'm questioning where they're getting some of this stuff from. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it's because of my very, very, very selective choice in branding. So I mean, if I remove all that, how are we looking? I mean, yeah, you do have Game Master, which I'm not confident in how much airflow they have there. This one might not be bad. It looks a little bit small, though. I don't know. The other thing is it doesn't have a shroud, it looks like, which isn't a big deal. However, you can run into some issues with that. Yeah, let's just go with this one. It's at least close enough to something that I would use. And then after all that's said and done, $2,200. Now, admittedly, there are things on here that I wouldn't necessarily go for. Probably, realistically, do I go for 128 gigs of RAM? Probably not. 64 is more than enough. The NVMEs, we could probably shuffle around a little bit more. And maybe instead of going with a 4 terabyte NVMe, what we actually look for is one that's SATA SSD, which would be looking for 4 terabytes. Yeah, they're a whole lot cheaper. I'd do a team group here probably, which is fine. $209. I mean, it's not a ton cheaper, but it is still cheaper. Okay. So you know that's the thing. $2,199. So we'll just put 2,200. And I guess since that is also a gaming PC, that is one thing I need to remember. It's not necessarily gonna be that bad. Because it could get away with 64 gigs. That might not actually be a bad idea. So I could probably knock off an extra 200 and make it a flat 2,000. And another thing is, if I wanted to really shave off stuff and make it a fun project too, I could also do, I could find out how to make a case and make a 2-in-1 case. Because that's something I don't see anybody doing. I don't think anybody actually does this. Let me see. Computer case for 2 motherboards. I don't really ever see anybody doing these, but there are a couple, I guess. There's like desks, of course, but you know, I don't see a ton that have room for 2 PCs built in there. This guy has some. Let me change the address again. Canada. Done. Come on. Change to Canada, please. There we go. That's good. So there's things like this, which as you can see, would be really, really sick. Having it on wheels is awesome. All that storage, dude. And so on one hand, you could do something like this where, you know, you put both your cases together for your budget and do 2 PCs in one. And so, a little bit of your wiring would be a little bit easier, I guess. Okay. Let me think. That's sick. I'm not gonna lie, this is tempting. This right here is tempting. Oh my gosh, that is an awesome water cooling setup. That's your dust filters. That is awesome. What the heck? I kind of like it. That might be a goal one day. It is like 500 bucks, but it's cool, you know. Let's go back here. So, you know, we have some things to to look at, that's for sure. Um Mics cost a lot of money. That's for sure. And I would rather talk to one of my friends about that first. Just cause underscore live is a great audio dude, and so I'm just gonna have him walk me through what he would recommend, and then we'll probably end up doing that. So visual upgrades. We kind of talked about this a little bit. I'd like to do maybe some vlogs in the future, or even things just with cameras in general. Especially because we did that one Lego stream and it was kind of fun. And I'd like to actually get an official setup for it. And so one way I'd like to do that maybe is with actually having a dedicated camera as well. Sony's are probably the best way to go about it, honestly, for that. GoPro is kind of nice for smaller stuff, though. If I'm not mistaken, GoPros are like 300 bucks. And Sony's are, they're pretty expensive. That's like, how much is it? You know, I have a computer right here. I'm gonna have to hide that again so it doesn't dox me, but hang on. Sony video camera. Watch this. Sony Electronics. Imaging, vlog, and compact cameras. Yes. Okay. This is gonna be really bright. Just warning you guys. There we go. So yeah, they're pretty expensive. $2,000. And I mean, of course, you got like smaller ones like this. They don't really even just advertise what kind of quality they shoot in. This one shoots in 4K, 30p. I didn't know they made compact cams too. Wow. So it's safe to say it's gonna be pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive. We'll just say 500 to 1,000, or 500 to 2,000, just depending on which one you go for. There you go. Same deal here. When I buy one camera, the idea is that I'll buy the other one as well. And so you know, it'll be expensive when it happens, but it'll be a good tax write-off. Green screen, Elgato does those. Where are they? They actually might not have it on here. Uh-oh. I'm not seeing it on here. Okay, let me open up their website and see if I can find it. Hey, Pixel. How's it going, man? Aw, dang, I feel like I'm getting flexed on. No, don't worry. You're not, we're actually planning because I can't afford any of this. So we're just kind of looking, and wishing. So green screen XL is 170 bucks. That's probably the one we need. I would assume it's better for videos, and it's actually not much more expensive than the other ones, it looks like. Yeah, it's not much more expensive, so we'll just go for the 170 and call it a day there. Okay, there we go. There should be a recommend song like Channel Point Redemption. We actually do song recommendations in the Discord. There's a music section and you can kind of post links there. I don't know where the accent is coming from all of a sudden, guys, but I am having a little bit of an accent and it's not great. To build your own green screen, technically, to do it well anyway, we could probably budget for that being like 50 to 75 bucks. But the advantage of the Elgato is that it folds down. Those are nice. But right now, Pixel, what we're doing is we're actually budgeting and kind of coming up with ideas on what to spend money on. And so far, it's not going too bad. I think we're doing okay. We probably won't be live a whole lot longer. Just because a lot of this is starting to get into hyper-specific stuff that's like, okay, like, you know, looking at monitors, that's not all that exciting. Not that all of this is really exciting at all. Besides, like, you guys do get to hear some pretty cool things that, nobody else gets to hear. Like, you know, vlog cameras. Why would I need a vlog camera? I guess there is another microphone I need, which would be, like a lapel mic. I'd have to actually go and look at those, but if I got another monitor, I would scream of happiness to get it as well. I'm glad you're at least finding this exciting. Monitors are cool. They're not necessarily fun to look at though, because it's just like you have to go between each one and go, okay, well, is this one a good one? Is this one a good one? And so on and so forth. Which I guess we could kind of quickly look at some of them. So AOC here, for example. 27-inch curved frameless. This one was recommended to me. And it is, what is its refresh rate? 240? That's good. Mine is 144 currently, so 240 is several steps up above. 27-inch, bro, that's bigger than my TV. I believe 27 is my current size. My TV is 24 inches. There's nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, then that's great. I honestly kind of would do better, I think, with a smaller monitor in general. I think 27 inches is a little bit big to be sitting as close as I do to it. But that's just kind of something you have to deal with, I guess. Okay, so 175 for this one, and it's 240 hertz. We'd only need to buy one, I think, but how much did I say that was? 175? I think I did. Yeah, okay. BenQ is mentioned as well. Now they are decent amount pricey. To find a 240 hertz monitor to compare it with, it's 300. So, you know, that's probably not the one we're going with, but it exists. Now, Acer, on the other hand, they're going to be cheaper because they just are. Let me see if I can find some Acer monitors. 27-inch. I found a good graphics card. That's $73. It's a 1050 Ti. That would definitely leg you along till you found a better, you know, full-on PC that you wanted. But yeah, 1050s, they're not the worst thing in the world. They should at least be able to still run like Fortnite, and it'll definitely run Minecraft just fine. Okay, so we need 240 refresh rate. Okay, 240 refresh rate is just expensive is what I'm thinking. And you know, that's fair. What do you have, AMD Radeon or Nvidia? I use Nvidia. That's my personal preference. Where is I guess this is it is cheaper. How's it doing on like I guess it doesn't have any things to note really about color or anything like that. This is a 1440p. I don't understand 1440p, to be honest. I like 1080. It's just fine. 3070, right? Or 3080 or 3090. I have the 3070. I also just realized you guys can't see what I'm seeing. There we go. I don't have the 4Ks. No. I want to get a 40 series, but they're a little expensive at the moment. One day. Do they have like any 4090 is the best in the world right now? They're about to do 50 series sometime this year, probably. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to find a monitor that I like. Let me see if I can sort from low to high and just see. Yeah, this one's the cheapest, and it's a 160. It is curved. That's nice. Okay, so 160, I guess. That's what we'll throw down there. MSI has a couple of monitors. I don't know how much they cost. We'll just see. Okay. Uh, 240 refresh rate. And that's fine. All right. Low to high, just see what happens. Yep, 300 bucks. Now the advantage of it is QLED, so that's nice. Gosh, okay, and then Samsung, just for the lulz. Oh, that's not what I meant to put it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, auto-corrected, sweet. We want 240 refresh. What do you think of the motherboard I sent you on Discord? Let me see. Let me do that really quick. Walmart has the tendency to try to dox me, and so can't actually look at this on stream. Okay, So first thing I'm noticing about it, it is on DDR3 RAM. So you're gonna have to find sticks that are compatible with that. And it is just gonna be generally a slower machine. Let me see. Is that an Intel chipset or is that AMD? Assuming, I think it's an Intel chipset. Chip socket, sorry. Yeah, Intel. So, it might be cheaper, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be better. What I'm seeing here is like it's gonna be on an Intel CPU. First off, Intels are just more expensive than the AMDs. And then you gotta make sure that it's compatible. Intels are hyper specific about socket types, because every couple of CPUs they upgrade to a new socket. AMDs, you have to just make sure it fits in the AM4 or AM5s. And I guess the other thing is that it is DDR3, so it's a little outdated. But it just depends. Really, I say the best thing you can do for yourself, set your budget and then just go to like PC Part Picker. Let me see if I can find you a link for it. PC Part Picker, and just try to cobble something together yourself and see what you can do. It's pretty hard, honestly, but you might be able to figure it out. I don't know. Looking up $200 builds on Google, if that's your price. I think that was the price range you said last time was 200. But yeah, I think that's honestly the best you'll probably be able to do is just kind of looking and seeing, okay, how much does this stuff usually cost? Should I check my subreddit? Yeah, I'd say it's probably a good idea. Usually they get back to you within a day or two if they ever will. So I would say look at it. I lowered my PC from 2K to 1400. That's not bad. That's a pretty good decrease. What'd you have to give up for that? They deleted it. Why? I don't know. You'll have to. They usually send a message with it if there's a reason. So, just take a look and see if you can find anything about it. Go low to high. Their lowest monitor in here for Samsung is 450 bucks. Okay. That's maybe we don't replace monitors for a little bit, you know? We'll just wait until they go on sale for Black Friday anyway, so that's fine. Let's see. No build spoon feeding requests. What does that mean? That's ridiculous. That means that in their rules for the subreddit that they have set up, it means that you can't ask for somebody to just build you a PC. You have to ask for help on ideas for it. So usually that would mean that right when you're about to tell me, that's always when the ads hit. It's great. I has two monitors I forgot about that were about 120 each. Changed my CPU and CPU cooling, my motherboard, and changed my memory. That's not a bad way to do it. Honestly, that's what I'm gonna have to do when I actually do get a little bit more serious about building these. Is what do I need versus what do I want? I don't need 128 gigs of RAM. So let me downgrade to, 64. I don't need 4 terabytes right at the start. So let me downgrade to 1 or 2. and then just hold off for a little bit. I can carry over some of my current storage as well so that I don't have to buy more. And if you think logically about it, you'll eventually be able to cut down pretty significantly. Okay, I'm gonna assume you guys are out of ads now, because it's not showing me the ad pop-up. So, I'll go ahead and start saying what I was saying again. So, the reason they probably deleted it was that they don't actually do build requests on that subreddit. Usually that means you probably need to go to a different one, but a different subreddit, but I don't know. Let's see. Hey Liam, how's it going, homie? Hope you're feeling a little bit better today. We're just chilling, talking a little bit. I guess I can actually share my screen again. We've been building things, little stream upgrades and stuff. I'm gonna have to talk to you about audio and keyboards, but outside of that, we've got some expensive things possibly. Let's see. I can't show that on stream. That will probably dox me. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Okay, that's not bad. As long as it fits with the right parts, you're set. 2 gigahertz. Dual core. It would at least run Minecraft. I don't know what Fortnite requires in terms of processors, honestly. But I'd imagine it probably could run Fortnite just fine. Most of that's on your graphics card. Yeah, that's not a bad price. Not at all, man. You saved my life, King. I don't know about that, but you know, you're welcome, I guess. All hail King Einstein. Oh boy. Why does it always turn into, you know, praising me? I don't know, man. It took 5 hours to get home and I'm so tired. I was just getting medicine. Oh, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. You gotta be wore out, definitely. I go out to, you know, I go out for like a quick doctor checkup for like, 2 hours. And I'm wore out. I can't imagine 5 hours though, homie. That's, ugh. I'm sorry. That's awful. That is just awful. Does it come with a cooler? As far as I know, it didn't say anything about a cooler. So usually that means it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not seeing a included cooler, so I don't think it does come with one. Let's see, there we go. Also buy all your monitors from Costco. You can refund years after purchase, even if it's broken, no box. Yes, I've heard stories about that. I'm actually intending to probably buy most of my monitors when I do buy them on Black Friday, because especially near me, a lot of stores do pretty hefty discounts on them. The monitor I use right now is actually on sale on Black Friday. I was working the day that it went on sale, and I looked at my mom, and she's like, "Is there anything you want?" I'm like, "Come back later tonight. If it's still there, we'll buy it." And they had like so many Acer monitors, and it honestly works pretty good. I'd like to get a faster refresh rate though, Just one. I only need one. But I mean, if there's a really good deal, I might just get 3, or I could do 4. My graphics card does support 4. How is this? Pretty much any fan nowadays will probably do just fine for the CPU you showed me. Let's see, that's an LGA 775. I just gotta make sure that it matches up with the processor. It looks like it does, I think. So it should be fine. Okay, yeah. So, I'm curious now, cause it's gonna bug me if we don't do this. How much would it cost for us to make plushies? I'll look this up and see if there's like a Reddit for it or something. How to make custom plushies? I guess that's the question. I don't want to make one by hand. I want to manufacture them. MakeMyPlush.com. Shop now. Turn kids' drawing picture into own stuffed animal plush toy. For a 6-inch, we would want like a 5 to 10 color. That's $70. Yeah, no, that's a little bit expensive. Okay. I didn't know Make My Plush was a thing, but that's kind of awesome. I'd have to do it by hand is basically what it's looking like. Wait, no. My merch company, the company that does my merchandising, has a how to make and sell a plushie step-by-step guide. We are reading this together, guys. Little eye warning for you guys. It's gonna be really bright. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So fourth wall is where I run all my merchandising through. It's pretty good, all things considered. So highly recommend signing up with them. I think they even have a referral code, so if somebody's interested in setting themselves up with one, I will happily give you my referral code. Does the RGB case fit with my fan if it already has a fan? It should. Most cases aren't too particular about the parts you pick, as long as you pick one that supports your motherboard size. So if you pick a mini ATX motherboard, pick a mini ATX case. Or if you pick an ATX motherboard, pick an ATX case. Okay. Plushies or plush products have become an increasingly popular form of merchandise for content creators. From YouTubers to Twitch streamers, gamers to social media influencers. By the way, I just want to preface this. I'm not intending to do plushies anytime soon, but hypothetically, let's just look at this, okay? More and more creators are discovering the benefits of selling their own plushies. They're unique collectibles and are among some of the most popular products sold across thousands of creators' sites on Fourth Wall. But where do you start? How do you design and create a plushie that stands out from the rest? And once you have your design, how do you turn it into a real physical product that you can sell to your fans? With the rise of platforms like Fourth Wall, U2's, and Makeship, it's now easy. The process normally takes 60 to 120 days between design, production, a pre-order campaign, aka a drop, and shipping. Since plushies are such a unique item to your fans, they can triple a creator's sales relative to a normal drop. In this article, we're walking you through coming up with a plushie design, choosing a manufacturing partner, how your plushie will be made, promoting your plushie to your community. Okay. Choose a manufacturing partner. I guess fourth wall does it. Whoa. Order samples. When working with a plushie manufacturer, you'll need to provide them with your design specifications and they'll create a sample for you. The sampling process usually costs $100 per plush. Yeah, okay. Sell your plush in pre-order drop. So usually you can't just do a print on demand with plushies. That's the thing about it. So you have to have a minimum order quantity, which is pretty expensive usually. So with samples in hand, you're ready to start promoting and selling. When it comes to production, the minimum order quantity for a plush is usually between 300 and 500 units sold. Despite the higher minimums, these unique items are frequently bestsellers as they are more unique than traditional merch, blah, blah, blah. The average cost for a plushie is $12 to $18, but it can vary based on your final design. Most creators sell plushies for around $30 for each unit, resulting in a 40 to 50% profit margin. Sales most often happen over a 1 to 2 week period to maximize the total number of units sold to hit your MOQ. Gosh. That's, It's a little bit scary. Can I get in here without doxing myself? I can. Alright, let's see what kind of plushies they have here. So one, they have leggings. We could make custom King Ragnog leggings. Does anyone want those? I want those. Do Dell motherboards support Intel products? It's all dependent on the chipset. I can't say for certain. So I would say probably, but it has to say what socket type it is, and then you have to match up the socket type to the you have to look at the socket type for the motherboard and the socket type for the CPU and make sure they match. Make a squish plush, I would buy it. See, it would be cool to have it, but I have to have 500 orders of it, and there's no chance we're doing that. However, maybe one day we could do a squish plush, and it would be kind of cool. I didn't know all this stuff existed. We ought to make myself some leggings, I'm telling you, man. We'll have to look into this kind of stuff a little later, but, you know, I was curious about it. Do Dell motherboards support Intel products? Again, I don't know. It depends on the motherboard and the processor. Most of the time, I would say probably, but you gotta double check the chip type and the socket type. So Intel changes their sockets pretty much every couple of generations. So every couple of years, there's a new socket. And so motherboards, and there's a ton of mismatching motherboards and sockets, basically. As long as it doesn't expressly say AM4 or AM5 on the motherboard, you're at least somewhere in the ballpark, but I couldn't tell you for sure without seeing if it was like a, what is it, an LGA, some string of numbers, and so on and so forth. So plushies, let me just quickly do this. That's probably gonna cost about $100 to get a King Ragnog plushie. T-shirts, those are easy, but you'd have to hire somebody to really do the good design for you. Okay, let me see this. So that is a LGA 1155 socket, and this is LGA 775. Let me double check it. I don't think they're compatible, but I just want to double check. LGA, 775 compatibility. I think. Yeah, I don't think they're compatible. So LGA, they basically. So the motherboard supports a newer generation of CPU, I think, with LGA 1155 socket, whereas your current CPU that you've got selected there, it is a LGA 775. I don't know all the differences between it. I just know that they're not compatible. T-shirts, you just pay somebody else to do it for you, basically. Same thing with branding and such. Okay, I think really that's it. I've been rambling today. This is just something I wanted to do. Not necessarily something I wanted you guys to do with me, but I figured it would be fun, at least for a little bit. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of this, I'm sure. Probably. Most likely. But I do think that might be where we call it for today. I know it's early, but also at the same time, like, I'm really tired. And this thing is really, really itchy, and it keeps distracting me. So, you know, that's the thing about this. And I guess if I forgot to mention it again, I have this thing on my chest. You can kind of see the white thing. That's a heart monitor. It's itchy. It's so itchy. Will this work with the motherboard? Let me see. That is a LGA 1700. So I don't think so, because you'd want to find an LGA 1155. So let me see. LGA, what did I say? Hang on. Is it 1755? I might be wrong. 1155. Okay. So you want to find something like, I mean, I don't know all of this stuff, but yeah, it's just, if you're looking for a certain chipset, you're wanting the one that is this. All the motherboards are going to be different prices, different things. I don't know everything about Intel, really, but, you know, I'm here to try to offer some advice when I can. Okay, that is what we're gonna call it for today, though. Like I said, I'm pretty tired. Tomorrow we'll be back to King SMP, so like that's pretty awesome. The server seems to be working pretty good, and I think it'd be awesome if we, you know, could play on that. So, we are gonna raid somebody. Okay, that was a little bit loud. Sorry about that. We are gonna raid somebody that we haven't gotten to raid yet. What do you need on a PC? You need a processor, a motherboard, RAM, or memory, whatever it's called for you. You're gonna need storage, CPU cooler. I think I missed one. Did I mention CPU? I may have said processor, which is CPU. A power supply. A case. So, yeah, that's what you're gonna need. Alright, we are gonna end. I gotta head out. But I appreciate all y'all hanging around. Pixel, if you need anything, just DM me. I might be able to answer some of your questions there. But Motherboard, CPU, cooler, processor, power supply, graphics card, case, storage RAM. Yes. Yes, that sounds right to me. Alright, guys, we're gonna go say hello to Anthro. He's rated me a couple of times while I've been playing Software Inc., and I've never had time to actually pop in and say hello to him. So if we hop in that raid, we'll go say hi, and I will hopefully catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and good night.